Hey guys, so I just spent my first night in the Outdoor Vitals Mummy Pod, and it was down in the mid-20s last night in my garage. I left the door open so I'd get the full effect of the cold, and right now I'm frozen because I opened this up to make this video, but last night I was toasty. So stick around guys, I'm going to tell you all about this thing. Alright guys, so as you saw, I have spent a night in the Outdoor Vitals 0 degree mummy pod. Just so you guys know, my version is the long and wide. So anyway, couple things before I jump into this. Number one, stick around to the end of this video because you did see the title correctly. We are doing a giveaway in the end of this video. I've teamed up with Outdoor Vitals and we are going to be giving away a sleeping bag, a 0 degree bag. And so there's going to be a few simple steps to get in on that, and I'll let you know at the end of this video. And so with that, let me just jump into this thing and tell you the things that I liked, and then I'll tell you a couple of things that might be a little unsure. So number one, this thing is waterproof, essentially. I won't say waterproof, but the fabric they use it's 20D and it's been treated. So water just beads right off of this thing. So if your tarp isn't set right, or it's blowing in horizontally, or it's just, you know, whatever, it blows off in the middle of the night, or something bad happens, or your tent leaks if you're using this thing as a sleeping bag, because that's another cool thing. It can either be used on a hammock or on the ground, which is cool. But the worst happens and you're getting wet. Normally with a down sleeping bag or a down under quilt, that's about the end of your trip. It's going to get soaked, it's going to get nasty, and it's going to lose all of its insulation. So what they did on this is they made the shell nearly waterproof. Water beads off it very easily. And then they also treated the down with, I believe they call it the storm loft. So the down is treated to be hydrophobic, so it doesn't lose all of the insulation. It doesn't get saturated and just condense down into a big pile of mush. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. The second thing I really liked about this were the shoulder flaps. There are two shoulder flaps in this bag right up near the top, and they're just, you know, they're maybe 10 inches by 12 inches or so, I'm guessing. And they just kind of come in and cover your shoulders so that cold air doesn't seep down in and freeze you, which has been a problem in sleeping bags forever. And since this thing doesn't wrap around your head when you're in the hammock configuration, that is just, to me, that's just an awesome, it's an awesome feature. I think it's a very good idea to do that, since they knew that the hood couldn't wrap around your head. These shoulder flaps really do a great job of keeping that cold air sealed out. The other thing I like is this thing is very generous as far as size goes. Now I did, like I said, I got the long and the wide version, which is a few inches wider. I think it's like the girth is like 70 inches for your shoulders, and it's like 80 something inches long, you know, tip to tail there, which is pretty good. It was almost too long for me. I had room in the foot box, and when I zipped it all the way up, it would like come to my nose essentially, or more. So you know, if you're 6'4", 6'5", I still think this would fit you quite well, and you would have enough to bring it right up to your chin. Because like I said, I had probably 5-6 inches in the foot box, which is pretty cool. And if you're using this on the ground, if you're using this as a sleeping bag, again, very good. The hood cinches down the whole 9 yards, everything you would expect, it works. Now the way they make this work on a hammock is the foot box just unzips, and then you slip your hammock right through the thing, and then that flap just goes back down into that little cavity of the excuse me, of the hammock, and then you cinch it up as tight as you want it or as loose as you want it. I leave mine a little bit loose so that my feet can go to the side, and since I have the one that's a little wider, my shoulders can go, and I can still get my diagonal in my smaller hammock. I don't know that it would work on like a double nest or, you know, these 10, 11, 12 foot hammocks, but for my 9 foot sub 7, it worked very well. I was able to achieve the same diagonal that I normally sleep in, and I was very comfortable. I think I only woke up once. And you might say, oh, well, you woke up. Yeah, but in my bed at home, I wake up about 3 or 4 times a night. So I actually slept better in this thing than I did at home in my own bed. So those are the things that I really like. I think the construction's good. Oh, and it's got this kind of funky zipper on it that pretty much prevents snags. I didn't get it snagged once, which was really cool, because I hate when you're trying to zip something up and you know, and you're fighting with it, and that's just a pain. So the zipper was really good. The suspension, once I got it figured out, it took me a few minutes to figure out how I wanted to suspend it with the shock cord and the, you know, the little toggles that they supply. But once I figured it out, which only took a couple minutes, it was pretty easy to set up. The one downside for setting up is that I use a structural ridge line, and so I have to take that off of one side, which isn't a big deal because I loop mine through the carabiners. So you have to take off one end when you feed it through, and then you just put it back on. So, you know, not the end of the world, but what I was thinking about doing is just leaving my hammock right in this thing and just packing the hammock in the stuff sack along with this, so that I don't have to fool with the ridge line at all. So I could just, since my hammock's so small, it would easily fit in the stuff sack that Outdoor Vitals provides. So once you set it up initially, you could just leave it in there theoretically. So that would make setup and takedown much easier and quicker. So those are the goods. Now, some of the things that I was kind of questionable on, I wasn't sure in the beginning if I'd be able to get the diagonal lay, because in their videos they say, well, you really can't, and you need to put a pillow underneath your knees and lay straight and pitch your hammock, hang your hammock a little flatter so that, you know, XYZ. I didn't find that to be the case, thankfully. I was able to just get my same diagonal lay by leaving the cinch cord on the foot box a little bit loose. I didn't have any cold air coming in because it was stretched tight, and it still made a good seal around the end of the hammock, so I didn't have any issues with that. I don't know, however, if that will work with larger hammocks. Okay, I don't use larger hammocks because I don't think they're comfortable. I always get a calf ridge. I always get a ridge usually right under my neck or right on the back of my head, and for me they're just not comfortable. I actually prefer a smaller hammock because I'm sick of dealing with ridges, and the seams are always very uncomfortable. So I don't like big hammocks. That's just me. So I did not test it on a larger hammock because I don't like them and I don't like to sleep in them. But for a small hammock, it works great. If you're really into the big hammocks, I don't know if this will be the thing for you. You might have to try something smaller and experiment a little bit. So the other thing that is a downside a bit for me is the weight. The long and wide version in the 0 degree is a little over 3 pounds. That's pretty heavy. However, it is a very comfortable, well-made system. So yeah, I mean, it's heavy, but again, it's 0 degrees. So in winter backpacking around me, I need a 0 degree bag. I just do. Wherever I go camping in the winter, it's usually below 0. So I'll be bundled up inside of this thing, which is nice because it has the extra room. So you're gonna spend a little extra money to get a 0 degree thing, and it's gonna cost you in weight. That's just the way it is. Some people make winter gearless videos, and they've got a 30 degree bag, and that's all they need for winter. And I'm like, you know, good grief. You know, here it's November, but in the end of October and the beginning of November, we had you know, we were down in the single digits at night. So, you know, it's not even winter yet. I mean, it's not even close to winter. I've spent the night out in 25 below in backpacking before, so a 0 degree bag is like a minimum for the winter for me. So the other downside is the price. Now, Outdoor Vitals is definitely cheaper than other companies. The way they work their business model, it is less expensive. but it's still not like dirt cheap. I mean, you're not going to go and just pay $100 for a 0 degree mummy pod. You know, it's going to be somewhat costly, and I know some people are going to be screaming at their computer like, I can't believe how expensive that is. You're supposed to be a budget channel. Yeah, I know, but sometimes for cold weather stuff, you gotta pay to play, and that's just kind of how it is. I've used the $50 0 degree bag. I have 2 of them, and they sure are not 0 degree bags. Let me tell you that. I've spent the night out in those, and they're just they don't measure up. And after a year or 2, they're pretty much smoked. So you could buy the cheap stuff and be frigid, or you could save up and ask for Christmas presents and do all that kind of stuff to save money like I do, and you can get something better that will actually keep you warm and last you a while. So now let's get on to the giveaway. Okay guys, so I know you have been patiently waiting for this part of the video, which is the giveaway. Now, Outdoor Vitals have been nice enough to give their customers, or my viewers, their viewers, whatever, one of these mummy pods. Okay, now this is their most expensive piece of gear that they make. And they're going to be giving one away to one lucky subscriber, viewer. So what you have to do is go over to their page, and I'll put a link in, and you have to subscribe to them. And there's going to be like a matching video, so they're making another video talking about this as well, and you have to just go to that video on their page and say RevHiker sent me. And then if you're coming over here from theirs, you just have to go in my comment section and say Outdoor Vitals sent me. Okay, and then excuse me, from there there'll be a little link in the description, and it'll just be an opt-in page, and you go there and it just confirms that you have subscribed to both channels, and then you give them your email address, and that list is where we select the winner from. Okay, now they need your email address so they can let you know that you've won, and we will let this run for a minimum of a week, and sometime next, the beginning of week after next, about 8-9 days, I'll make a video announcing the winner. They'll probably make a video too. So we will let you know who won, and I'll give you a hearty congratulations, and you'll let them know whether you need it long or any of that stuff when you win. And that's why they need the email. So go ahead, go over to Outdoor Vitals. I'll put a link in the description with all their stuff. Check them out. Say RevHiker sent me on their video on the giveaway, and that'll get you guys entered, and you can have your very own 0 degree mummy pod, which is pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Now, there is one thing that I need to say, and I'm a little, I won't say I'm upset, but if you guys remember, if you've been a fan of the channel for quite some time now, a couple years ago now that I did this video, but I made a product just like this, but without the flaps, and I didn't make a cool zipper on the end. I just cut a hole and duct taped around it. But I made a mummy pod years ago, and I can't say that I'm mad at Outdoor Vitals for stealing my idea, because I ended up with a pretty cool product out of it, slightly better quality than the one I made. But yeah, no, I mean, I know guys, this idea has been around for a while, but I think Outdoor Vitals did a pretty good job of executing it. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Outdoor Vitals, comment on their video, click that link and get entered to win. And don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this. God bless as always, and I will catch you next time.